Hello everybody, this is Gareth Goon Speaks back here with another video. I'd like you to hit the subscribe bar, give me a thumbs up if you like the video, or hit the notification bell to be notified when I post my next post. Or otherwise you could donate to my ministry and the charities that I support at garethcahoon3@gmail.com on PayPal. This one here is about a Christian leader who is Israeli, says government should grant a separate status to Christians who will run for the Knesset, Christian Voices in Israel. Amid several incidents of disrespect or outrage violence, one Israeli Christian leader is pushing for the government to recognize a separate status for Christians. Ayab Shaalan, a rising leader in the Israeli Christian community, said the lack of government recognition and representation is a serious problem for the Christian community. If I needed something from the Knesset or from the government or from the president, who can I call? Cheyenne asked. I don't want something for me, I want something for my community. Who can I tell? Why for all the other communities? Here they have a proper politicization, a representation in the Israeli institution. Because of this, Shailan recently decided to run for a seat in the Knesset, a controversial decision within his community which has traditionally avoided politics. However, Shailan sees it as a necessary task. All in Israel News interviewed Shailan as part of a series exploring Christian voices in the Holy Land. Shailan recently began campaigning for support among Israeli Christians in an effort to raise awareness of his community in Israeli politics. Although he didn't elaborate on his political ambitions, his organisation, Israeli Christian Voice, posted a statement on Facebook announcing that he was joining the Democrats Party ahead of Yair Golan. We are with Ahab Shailan and see maintaining our identity as Christians so as something fundamental that cannot be compromised. The statement read, as Yeshua, Jesus, said, we do not hide the light and we do not hide our cross or our faith. The statement reflects the complicated position in which Indigenous Christians frequently find themselves. We are not with the extreme right that does not want us, that sees us as foreigners and does not accept our true existence because from their perspective we are considered Messianic Christians, and this is unacceptable to them. And we are not the communists or the Arab parties that do not see us as and do not give room for our identity. The statement continued. We chose our path as Israeli citizens with our identity and our roots and our faith while striving for security, stability and a strong government. The time has come for the state to recognize us as a Christian community like the other communities. Shailan was a career officer in the military, served in 24 years. In the October 7th War, he served as a reservist. He actively encourages young Israeli Christians to enlist in the IDF, an unpopular stance among the Arab-speaking population in Israel. In recent months, Shailan participated in Israeli President Isaac Herzog's annual reception for Christian leaders. He also joined Prime Minister Bibi Netanyahu meeting with Christian soldiers and has met multiple times with US Ambassador to Israel, Mike Huckabee, to speak about the situation of Christians in Israel. It was during Shailen's time in the military that he first began to understand the importance of his Christian identity, which eventually led him to partner with another Israeli Christian with significant IDF experience, Shad Khalul, to petition the Israeli government to recognize Armenian Christians and as a distinct group in Israeli society. They succeeded in 2014. While in the military, Shailan was first placed with a Bedouin unit, but due to the cultural differences, he never fit in. He was later transferred to a Jewish unit, but because of his poor Hebrew at the time and the misunderstanding of many Israeli Jews over differences between Muslims and Christians, he found that the label Arab Christian still caused problems. At the beginning, when I enlisted to the army, I called myself Arab. Shailen said he only later came to understand that his choice to identify as an Arab Christian was part of the friction with the Jewish soldiers who associated the label Arab with Islam and Israel's political enemies. In Israel, the majority of Christian communities speak Arabic as their mother tongue. However, most do not fit into the broader Israeli Arab society due to their Christian culture and faith. Most of the approximately 2.1 million Arabs living in Israel are Muslims. Only around 185,000 people in Israel define themselves as Christian, with most of those, about 79%, coming from the Arab Christian countries. The Israeli government treats all of these as one community, which Shailan said is problematic for the Christians. We learn about Arabs and the Muslim religion, Shailan explained. We didn't learn about our history. In contrast, our minorities, such as the Druze, the Circassians, have their own status and their own education tracks within the public education system. Many Israeli Christians, both from the Arab speaking community and from Armenians, describe feeling like a minority within a minority. They do not belong to the Jewish majority, but they also do not identify with the larger Arab Muslim minority. However, Shailan's knowledge of the Arabic language proved useful and led him to being transferred to the communications division and eventually being accepted into officers training. During that service, Shailan and Kulani began to encourage enlistment among the Israeli Christian community, which has traditionally avoided military service. While Arabic remains a crucial part of Shailan's life, he said use of the language is not enough to define a person's identity in Israel, pointing to the large Mizrahi Middle Eastern Jewish population in Israel, many of whom also speak Arabic. Shailan also explained that living among the Muslim Arab community for hundreds of years, many Christians are afraid to speak out against Muslim harassment. He pointed out that while many Christians in Israel call themselves Arabs, they do not want to live in the surrounding Arab countries. But the majority of the Christian community, do you think they want to live in the Arab countries? Shailan asked. I'm telling you no. He said the ongoing persecution of Christians in Muslim countries, which has led to a dramatic decline in Christian populations of almost every Middle Eastern nation, is the reason. Shailan said that in the Christian community are beginning to understand that things in the Middle East are changing. We thought that to be a sheep next to a wolf is better for you, Shailen said, explaining why Christians have been willing to criticise Israeli harassment of Christians but remain largely quiet about Muslim harassment and persecution. But now to be a sheep next to a wolf means you will be eaten. Come back for part 2 of this post. Shalom, Maranatha, and Hallelujah.